I thought to talk about Tisha B'Av, this time that we'll try to understand what happened to us today in Tisha B'Av. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shekol b'dbaro.
Amen.
Everything that happened to us in history, in our life, it happened according to some models. Those models, they happened in history, in our private life. We think that we have our free choice, we do this and that, all kind of things, but really history develop according some models, and the way that we think, we also think according some models. It's not you cannot imagine everything that you want to imagine. For example, you cannot imagine a square that's circle. You can imagine horse with wings. You just can combine those things together. But though that it doesn't exist in reality, horse with wings, but you can imagine. But there are things that you cannot imagine them. Why? Why we cannot imagine square that is triangle? It's because we have all kind of, it's called in philosophy a priorian way of thinking. It's Kant, Immanuel Kant. He says this expression. For example, that you always look for some reason. Why? Or source of something. If you hear now some noise, you will turn. Why? Because you try to find the source of this noise. But who tell you that there is a source? It's nobody teach you that. You think according to those models. And history also, it happened according to some models. For example, the fact that you here, sitting here now, it's because some model. Think about, I think 10 years ago, if I will ask you, do you believe that in 10 years you will sit in Jerusalem in a yeshiva and you'll learn Torah and you see where you, maybe some of you will ask me what it is Jerusalem and what it is Torah, where is it? So why you came here? It's you decided to come? Of course, yes, you decided. But why nobody decided this decision 200 years ago? Your grandparents, did they have any chance to come here 200 years ago?
It was very difficult.
It's theoretical chance.
Some people came.
Practically, yes, but it's not your grandparents. Not mine, not yours, not yours. So why we are here? It's some decision. It's some model, some process that happened today in our time. And this process is called Shivat Zion. Kadosh Baruch Hu, he brings his children, his sons, Jewish people, bring here, and those soul that like your soul that were grow up among non-Jewish nations also take part in that, also participate in that. And you know, I think it's something very, very special what happened in this idea to us. About I saw one film, like a science fiction film, and it was about 40 years ago or something like that. About 40 years ago, old science fiction film that did Steven Spielberg. You've heard about this director, Steven Spielberg?
What was the film?
Pardon?
What was the film? Which film was it?
I'm not sure the name of this film. I think the name of the film is The Meeting in the Third Kind.
Oh, Close
Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
How
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Close Encounter?
Close Encounters.
Close
Encounter,
Encounters.
like to meet.
Close Encounters and Third Kind. And this film, for me, it's like a symbol of what happened to us today in Israel. And I understand that you saw this film, but so who saw, I will remind him. Who didn't see, I will tell him this story. What the story was. That once it was some guy, he was a fireman, I think. He rode in his car, and suddenly his car was lifted up in air and came back. It's because some source is called? No source. How is called this plate, like a saucer? Flying saucer. Flying above him, put him up and down, and they were flying saucer. Yeah, saucer plate. Flying plate. And since then, this guy started to draw some mountain. He doesn't know why and who, where. He drew mountain. It was this kind of mountain, like this. This is the form of this mountain. And he doesn't know why. And he drew again and again, thousand pictures of this mountain. And then he started to make a maquette, model of this mountain. He brought some chemar, I don't know how it's saying. How's it? Clay. He did this mountain with clay, and he was like obsessive to this mountain. He doesn't know why. And one day he saw in TV, it was some report that people say that they, in some place in the earth, in America, in some desert, Nevada, some place, from this place, a lot of people die there, and they say, and they have some something that poison in this area, in this air, was something poison, and also how say in like rentgen, X-ray. and something very dangerous there, and they make evacuation people from this area, and he saw this some report on TV, and suddenly he saw this mountain that he always draw, and he doesn't know why. This mountain, so he decided he would have to go there to this mountain. And they say opposite. It's dangerous. It's poison. It's X-ray. He wanted to go there, and he tried to go to. And people talk about this. It's a bad place. You shouldn't go there. And he went again and again. Go, 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 go. And he rode by his car, and he came some close to this place. It was a police barrier. They don't let go by car, so he go by foot, and he started going there. And a lot of people run away from there. A lot of people. All those people that they live in this area, all of them leaving. They afraid, and they say, "Oh, it's terrible. People die there." And he continued, keep going more. And suddenly he saw some truck that goes, old truck, goes in opposite direction. All people run from there, and this truck go to this mountain. So he decided that he asked them to take him also there in this truck. He came, and there was all kind of people, all kind of people. They sit in this truck. Someone from Mexico, someone from Iceland, someone like white, black, Chinese, all kind of people. And he sit with them. He tried to talk. They don't know English even. All of them wanted to go to this place. Suddenly, he saw animal, some cow dying. Cow. They continue go, and they see sheep dying, and goat, and another sheep, another cow. A lot of animals, they died. And they say, "Oh, maybe it's really something poison. It's terrible. We have to go back." But they said, "No, we'll continue." Someone they have some bird, and they see the bird is still alive. Say, "Let's go," and they continue. And then they met people with those kind of
suits.
suits, hazmat suits. Yes, and they stop them. "No, don't go. It's terrible there." They continue. They run away from different. They run, and then they saw this mountain. And around this mountain, they saw a lot of people, very important people, and they waiting that that some will from cosmos, these creatures from cosmos will come to see them. E.T. I don't know how
Aliens.
aliens, exactly. Aliens will come to see them. And this the main hero of this story, this Feirman, he ran to this flying sources, and they come, and he was the first that went there, and they meet them. They choose him to represent all human beings. And this is the end of the story. And when I saw that, as I said, about 40 years ago, it's old film. When I saw that, I immediately thought about gerim, ger, converts. How say in English? Converts. And I thought about those that make repentance, חוזרים בתשובה, וgerim. That is story about us. We don't know why. Suddenly, everybody has his own story, own picture. He met some guy that told him about Jews. He wrote some. He read some book about that. He saw some movie. He heard. I don't know why, how, but the result that we are sitting here around this table, and you are from Africa, you are from Asia, I'm from Russia, I'm from America, from this and that and that. Who brought us here? Who makes us be together? We can say Akadosh Baruch Hu, of course, but everybody of us, he make his own choice. He sacrificed something for that. He's willing to make to cut his body in order to be Jew. Why? Like they, in this film, they didn't have any explanation for that. We also don't have any explanation. We can explain, okay, your grandmother met her cousin and she said to you, okay, but what we'll do here, as a result, we are sitting here. If my cousin will meet some grandmother, I won't come in Israel, and it's something in soul, something in your soul that call you, and you feel this call. For him it was mountain. Maybe this mountain, it was Sinai. I don't know. Maybe it's not accidentally that Steven Spielberg is Jew, and maybe about that he did this film. I don't know. Maybe also it's not accidentally that my name is Feirman. I don't know. But the fact, this is we are sitting here around this table from all the world. That I think it's obvious that all this it's not simple thing. It's not accidentally. And Chazal said expression, Hager sheitgayer. It's written in Gemara, Hager sheitgayer. I don't know how to translate exactly, like a converter that converted. Yeah, this is a literal translation. So Gemara said, no, don't say ger sheitgayer. Say goy sheitgayer. Non-Jewish, he make giur. That's what happened. Non-Jewish became be Jewish. That's what you should say. Gemara says, no. זה לא גוי שהתגייר, זה גר שהתגייר. What's the difference?
I mean, he was a convert even before he converted?
Again?
He was already a ger even before he converted?
Yes. So, Gemara explained, it's impossible to become a Jew. It's impossible. How it's impossible? A lot of root. He became a Jew. No. They say it's impossible to be Jew, to make giur. It's only who is soul, belong to Jewish nation, and because of some historical events, some his private life, his grand parents, they disappeared from Jewish nation, and they became Chinese and the Ukrainian and the American and the Spanish and the black and white and the yellow and blue and pink, but that that's what happened. It means all of you who passed Giur, who is passing Giur, he was Jewish in his soul, and because all kind of stories, all kind of events, his soul was mixed, disappeared, and among non-Jewish people. I think that what you should ask yourself, not if you want to make Yur, or if you will be accepted, or if you'll be pass some Beidin, if you can pass some exams, or all that. No. The main question is if you feel in your soul, inside of you, you feel that you really Jew. Another moment. You not became be Jew. You revealed your Jewishness. The fact that you are Jew. You revealed it. You discovered it. Something that already exists in your soul. That's what meaning of Giur. Yes, please, you want to say something?
I still pinch myself time to time. Who I am, where I come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These questions is constant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly what you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I still asking many
Mm-hmm.
where I come from, where I'm here.
Yeah. And this story about this mountain, this is the answer to your question. There is no rational answer to this question. It's only something metaphysics. That's what it really happened. And everything that happened in our time, in our nation today, it's also built by some models and some structures. And those structures, they what really make a history. In the sense that the fact that in 100 years ago, suddenly, millions of people, they left their homes, they work, their family sometimes, their wife, their children, they left everything and they came to Israel. It wasn't like in this story that I told you, but some old track that it was about some 7-8 people that they sit in this place. It's millions of people from all kind of like a place in the world. By buses and plane and train and the ships and by donkey and by food they came millions people, women and old women and young women, pregnant and ill, sick people and all kind of people. One time suddenly they come here. It's accidentally. Of course, I can find some explanation or some I know, but it's this explanation could be explained also about 1,000 years ago. Also, but it didn't happen. Suddenly, of course, there is some structure. According to this structure, it causes us to sit here now. And also everything that is connected to Tisha B'Av, it's also some structure. What was the structure? We learn a lot of time about unjustified hatred between Jews in temple, second temple. And we say, okay, they weren't good, they were bad people, they hate each other, they killed each other, it was terrible, and all kind of things. But really, it's not so simple, this story. They weren't bad people. They were good people, they were Jews. So why they hate each other and killed each other? Why? It's because they look for justice. For them, justice, it was more important than to love each other. Sometimes we make this mistake, but it's important to be aware that it's not some low-class people, some criminals, some bandits, that they killed each other, hate each other, and they fired their temple. No. It wasn't a thing like this. There were people that live according to their principles. Very, very principle. Very important for them, it's truth. More important than your personal life. And that was their mistake. Of course it was mistake. But we weren't like animals that they hate each other and killed each other, brothers killed brothers. No. It's important to be aware of that. Today, 2,000 years later, we understand that there are things more important than justice. And that's why we, Be'ezrat Hashem, will pass this crisis that we now, in this crisis, this hatred between Jews today in Israel, left and the wing and the right wing in politics and all kind of. We'll pass that, Be'ezrat Hashem. But the main thing is that we understand that there is something more important. And pay attention if you hear some news or you read some newspapers. I don't know if you pay attention, but and if you read this, if you are aware, if you open to social media and all that, but pay attention that we don't do anything bad to left side of leftists in Israel. They close roads. They prevent they make a lot of demonstration and all that. We don't, and we relate to them like really brothers, and we not fight with them, we not hate them, nothing. We respect them, we don't agree with them, and we try to do what we believe. But there is no unjustified hatred today between us. Opposite. There is a lot of respect and love. I think this, in those times that we live now, this time that we pass through some some test. Are we still like in conflict, like it was 2,000 years ago, or we already not? And I think we already not. There won't be civilian war between us. Jews won't kill Jews. All that, it won't happen. Maybe some crazy guy will do something, but it's not. But it's not really war like it was before. We passed this test honorable. You can say this in English, honorable, like בכבוד, honorable, yeah. And that is great improvement. Baruch Hashem. Everything that happened in Jewish nation, you should always remember that it's something great. It's not something simple like a day, like in France now they make all kinds of revolutions and pogroms and all that. No, between us is something else. We figure out what happened to us. It's some process. It's like husband and wife. They conflict, but we are one. בעזרת השם, תשעה באב שמח.